Good morning. It's a beautiful spring day here in Southern California, and I've already been in the garden this morning. My husband said to me, "What have you been doing out there?" And I said, "I've been putting things in the ground. That's what I've been doing." I planted some onions this morning, and I wanted to do that before it gets too warm. But I also am going to share with you my spring garden tour of 2021. So just the backyard, and maybe I'll do a front yard one too. But I wanted to reflect a little bit on where we've been since my last spring garden tour of 2020. It's been a long year, and the quarantine has really changed our lives in a very significant, transformative way. But the one thing that has remained the same is the garden. I've been able to spend more time in my garden this year, now that I'm retired, and I've really enjoyed that, and I hope you've enjoyed that too. You know, when I'm feeling a little bit blue, I go plant something. If I'm feeling a little bit anxious, I go take a gaze at the irises or the roses or the dahlias. So I really do think that being in the garden can be a balm for many of the things that ail us. And I hope that you find that being in the garden with me can also be an antidote to some of the fears and anxieties that we have experienced over the last year because of either the political landscape, the pandemic, whatever it is. There's lots of things that press upon us. But getting into the garden lets us breathe and enjoy beauty and sort of be one with nature. So enjoy the spring garden tour. Lots to come. It's time for the spring garden tour. I'm excited to show you all the things that are blooming in my garden. There's lots more things that are yet to bloom, but we'll get to those later in the season. But right now, I want to show you the gorgeous things that are popping up and making me so happy. We'll start here with the rose tree called All a Twitter. It really looks like it is all a twitter. It is a floribunda that is just going crazy right now. So many beautiful blooms. These little tiny red buds and the full bloom roses. They're a little bit of an orangey pink. Just beautiful. Of course, I have lots of lavender coming up, and you know, I've really cut back my lavender drastically in the fall, and it was the right decision because they're coming up so beautiful and fresh. I feel happy about that. Then I have this lovely tableau here. I've just been enjoying this so much this season. I have the lupin, which reminds me of our Silver City mountain cabin. I have this Gerbera daisy underneath. He's been in my garden for several years, but he pops up every spring. The chamomile, which is the beautiful little yellow and white flower. Then the lavender, of course. Now here we have two beautiful irises. This white one is called Immortality, and it has, as you can see, sort of a white, yellow, creamy beard and a yellow haft, but a white lavender standard and fall. This one is called Cloud Ballet. What a beautiful name. And it has the purple fall and the purple standard with the ribbing sort of white, and the beard is white with yellow as it goes into the haft. Just beautiful, just beautiful. Over here, we have a Dwarf Iris. I haven't talked too much about him. I love him. He doesn't have a beard, he's very tiny, and he's in a little clump. And there's quite a few of them, as you can see. He only blooms once a year in the spring, and he has just outdone himself this season with so many gorgeous blooms. I have the blue chalk stick here around the tree. And then here, this is a bush bean that I'm hoping will grow and give me a few beans. And then I have the Greek oregano, the lover's oregano, regular oregano. This is some calendula here, my firecracker plant. I'm waiting for these alliums to bloom. A delphinium here because I've always said you can never have too many delphiniums. And here's my bacopa along the border. I might plant another flower here, another little pop of color. I'm waiting for these irises to bloom. These are incredibly gorgeous. My lime tree is doing so well. Can you see all the little limes that are coming? I'm excited. Last year we didn't have any limes. And my artichoke is getting kind of sassy there. And of course, you can see in the background my hollyhocks, which are standing tall. I'm gonna have to stake them soon. Over here we have a volunteer tomato. Last year I had a tomato in this spot as well, so I'm assuming it's the same one. It's a determinate tomato. I never knew the name. It doesn't grow very tall, but he was happy. This is my Huntington Rose, which will bloom very soon. Oh, there's a little bloom, maybe I can show you. It has an extraordinary smell. There's some dill peeking back there, my sunflowers, and then this beautiful tree rose. This is the Trumpeter Rose. It has a really bright red, which you can see from our inside living room. I really love that. A little bit of calendula hiding. Another Gerbera daisy. This is my purple heliotrope that follows the sun. And my butterfly bush that's yet to bloom. More lavender. Bees love the lavender. This beautiful nasturtium plant is doing so well. I think I'm going to plant more nasturtiums on the border. Look at my foxglove. Oh my goodness, so many foxglove stems. Oh, that's a lovely sight. And of course my beautiful orange iris. I think this is orange harvest. I'm not positive. I think it's an orange harvest iris. Have you seen the corn that's in my garden? It's hiding in little places. I have 6 of these little corn. Here's the yarrow, the pink yarrow, one of my favorites. More delphiniums. This is like a field of delphiniums here. When they all bloom, that'll be a lovely sight. Beautiful lavender here. This is my sequoia tree. Still doing well in this little pot. One day I'm gonna have to decide what to do with him. You can hardly see him amongst the blue chalk stick, but he's in the pot. My pineapple guava, which is getting some little pineapple guavas. In there you can see. And then these are my transplanted sunflowers. And the red and purple calibrachoa with the boysenberries. There's a little licorice plant down here. Now the purple calibrachoa I planted last summer. So this is an overwinter calibrachoa that has just stayed the course. Happy little guy. So, and then I have one more little thing over here. You can see here's our view from our window. Little things popping up. And then I have all these little happy faces over here underneath the camellia trees. And the tower garden is still amazing. I just trimmed it this morning, but let me show you one last surprise. Look what this is. I had no idea. It's celery. Celery in the tower garden. So many beautiful surprises in the garden this morning. Thanks for touring with me.